We are live now on office hours while Sto checks on his little puppy, who y'all is the cutest thing in the world. I'm really going to drive out there or fly out there to meet him. Today on
sleepy boy. He's so mad that I'm picking him up and checking. Say hi to everybody.
Does he give you signs when you do annoying things?
Yes, he really does. Go on. Okay, I'm sorry.
I know. Okay. I do that with Push too, and Push will be like, "Really?" And I'm like, "But the people want to see you." Right. So you want to tell people your dog's name?
Oh, he's so mad. Yeah, my little guy Jimmy. He's based off a soccer player from Cincinnati, so don't cook me too hard. He almost got named LeBron, so relax, people. Yeah, and he immediately just goes and lays down. He's such a good boy. I'm so impressed with him over 3 months' time, and blah 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 blah. He's great. Love him. Glad he's in my life. Anyway, episode 97.
He's adorable, and you naming him LeBron would have been like us naming Push Drake. So I'm glad you did not set your child up for failure for the rest of his doggy life. But moving on.
Moving on.
Speaking of, I listened to the new Clips album.
Oh, you saying you just listened to it or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. How are we feeling? Probably not the best.
I mean, basically, it's like when you're rich, you can just get all your male friends together and make music that's misogynistic and ignores the existence of women and has really boring bars and a lot of casual misogyny and like, God, but cocaine, but God. That shit was whack. It was mediocre at best. And maybe the whole highlight was the sample that they did of Talal's song and a Kanye diss.
And there you go. Hey, I get it. I mean, yep. I'm just gonna leave that there. Bet mediocre.
And I like Push T. I named my dog after Push. Like I
was gonna say that, but that's neither here nor there.
This is not hating. This is just everyone talking about an album that's like, oh, it's so great, and the clips and blah 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 blah. And it says a lot about people's like perspective, I think, when they think this is a great album.
Fair enough. There you go. Anyway.
We're here to talk about YouTube for musicians and how it is more than just almost 4 minutes into this episode. We're here to talk about YouTube and how it's more than just for musicians to just like put your music video, and that there's a lot that you could do with the platform that's just passively like a place for your music videos to exist. As always, drop us your comments, whether you're with us live or watching after the fact. We always come back and answer your questions. And if there's things you want to see in a future episode, tell us, because we do office hours for you all so that the music industry becomes an accessible and practical place for us, so that you don't have to, navigate some of the fuckery that is in this industry. I'm all over the full transparency. I'm a little bit all over the place today. YouTube. Go ahead.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. YouTube. So I think I think this is a perfect episode as we head into 100 episodes. Because we've used YouTube for a myriad of things ourselves. It like as a channel here at Office Hours, it hasn't just been a platform for us to just music advice. We've used it for, we've hosted festival events on here. We've done live consultations on here. We've used this as a platform for activism on here. Like there's so many different things that you can use YouTube for that I feel like a lot of artists are just like, only music videos. Maybe I'll put up my album for stream on YouTube. Like I just, there's so much potential on this platform that I feel a lot of artists are just completely missing because they believe, one, that it's strictly visual and it's not about anything else, but also that they think it's just a platform for music videos, and that's just not correct.
I think a lot of people treat it the same way that they treat their website, which is a place for things to live that people might stumble on and find, or maybe that you will direct them to. But YouTube really has YouTube is not a passive platform. YouTube is a social media platform. And the key part of that is the social piece. So it is a place, yeah, your music videos can go on there and your behind the scenes can go on there and all that stuff. But it is a place where your audience can get to know your personality and see a side of you that they might not see in other spaces. And so it is a place, and, especially if you activate your, like the community channels, there's so many ways to engage. And what's that keyword? Community. I feel like it should be in like gold sparkles. Community, and connect with your audience. So that if you use YouTube as a proactive place, it can really help build that sense of community and connection and let people get to know you. And then you can play with the kind of content that you're putting. So like long form videos, live streaming, short videos, you can really create playlists. Like there's so much that you could do. And so rather than making it a place where your videos go to maybe get seen, it can be another hub in your ecosystem of connection points with your audience.
Right. And again, like even if you take the music video as a standalone, piece of content, like you can show the editing process. You can show, how, the visuals were recorded and stuff like that. And then again, even between putting that same song that's in the music video as a, streaming or whatever on YouTube, like you can break down things so much in terms of like even just small pieces of content that allow you to, again, like take one thing and express it in so many different ways that you can actually approach your audience. Like, I don't know, I see one song, like between the lyric breakdown, the actual lyric video, the music video itself, the behind the scenes, portion of it or whatever. And that's before all this other stuff. That's 4 different videos that required, not a lot of, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think you need to have this, I need to have a director and all these other things for the behind the scenes portions of your bigger pieces of content that they just end up not uploading it. And so I don't care if it's your hobbies or while you're in the studio or while you're getting something mixed, like all of that is viable because it allows people to see what you're actually doing out here. Just keeping it to your absolute highlights is kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes. So this is where I think, the piece about people don't put anything out there unless it's like perfect really gets into this thing about like artists who pretend to be an artist or who like perform being an artist rather than just being. And so the thing that's going to make you a musician is not that you have a $10,000 videographer working behind the scenes. It's that you make music and you share it with people. Like all the other stuff is just fluff. And a lot of you really buy into the fluff and the performance and like the symbols and the signifiers without ever really looking at like, what are you doing? What's your intention and what's the impact? So you can take, and I've seen great pieces of content. Y'all have some kind of smartphone in your hand. Or now, like,
wait, what was that? Wait a minute, what was that? What do we have?
Smartphones.
Oh,
But not even that. I'm seeing Gen Z go back to like digital cameras and camcorders. So there's some kind of technology device in your hand and you're recording your day-to-day life. All you have to do is splice that shit together, set it to some music. It does not have to be fancy, but what it does have to do is tell a story. And that's the part that y'all have to really think about. And we've talked about this in so many of our different episodes, but that's the part where you say, this is what it means to me and I'm sharing it. Not run the numbers, do what it do you know what to do, Instagram, like none of that bullshit. But when you say, hey, I was scared, vulnerable, excited, in love, da 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 da. So when you open up that emotional piece, that's the part that brings your audience in. Or, oh, we're having such a good time and I just want you to watch me and my friends have a good time. So it puts a smile on your face, right? You are evoking emotion. That's why we put content out. It's not content for the sake of content. It's content for the sake of evoking some kind of emotion and that then allows an audience to connect with you. And so when you're pretending to be an artist, when you're like going through the motions or you're like self-conscious about it, that interrupts that connection because it's not authentic. Now you're acting. Now you're pretending. Now you're performing rather than just being, because again, all you have to do to be an artist is make music and share it with the world. And so I really want to push some of y'all. And I think a lot of you self-sabotage. And I think a lot of you hide behind these as excuses.
Like 90% of y'all.
Like so many of y'all hide behind the excuse of, well, I didn't have this, or it wasn't like this, or no one cares. Like no one is like, oh, that video wasn't made by a multi-million-dollar producer, so it's not good enough. They don't care. Emotion doesn't have that. Connection doesn't have those limits. And so that I really want to call y'all in on, because a lot of you allow that to hold you back and it really doesn't need to.
Exactly. And again, going back to simply just the phone bit, like the vast majority of us have phones that film legitimately in 4K 60 frames per second right now. Like you can just pull it out, film some stuff. And if it doesn't do that, it at least films in like 1080p, which is like pretty good quality there. And so like Nora was saying, it's not about forcing all these moments and performing, being performative as an artist. It's about documenting what you're already doing. That's it. I talk to so many artists like, oh, I'm in the studio every day and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's like, okay, great. Just document that. That's viable content that allows, another example I bring up is like, so many of us watch documentaries and interviews and press of all of our favorite artists explaining their process and their motivations and stuff like that. And a lot of you are motivated by that. Why don't you create the same things? Like, and I wrote this on a note card somewhere that I tossed aside before we started recording, but it's just like, I'm so done with artists like looking at Genius and being like, oh, how am I going to get on there? Like, I got to figure it out. You can do the same exact thing. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, no, never any offense towards Genius or anything like that, but it's a green screen with them breaking down their songs. That's it. You can do the same thing. Yes, it may not be the same green screen, but like if you put the same energy in promotion, if you put the same energy in terms of creation, like you can have an impact with that as well. We don't have to wait for these other platforms to give us the chance to speak about our music. In a lot of cases, again, you can do the same thing at home right now.
Yes. And I think one of the things that like maybe discourages artists, or, they'll do it and they don't see the numbers that they want to see. Oh, well, if I do it on Genius, exactly, 1 million people will watch me. But if I just do it for my Instagram, no one cares. Maybe because you haven't earned your audience yet. But the way you earn your audience is that you continue to show up authentically and consistently. So maybe the first time you do it, one person watches, and the next time 3 people, and then the third time it goes back to 1 person, and then maybe one day it's 0, but then the next day it's 5 people. And then like that's how growth happens. And then eventually one day you show up and it's 275 people and you're like, shit. And you feel like that happened overnight, but it didn't. It happened over years and months and decades of slowly showing up consistently and authentically and putting yourself out there and creating those opportunities for people to connect to you. I mean, it happens to us in office hours. Sometimes we have a grip of people and sometimes we don't have anybody. Sometimes an episode gets a gazillion views and sometimes it gets 12. That doesn't mean that we need to stop. It means we need to continue to show up. It means we need to do all the things that we're telling you all to do, and people will continue to come and find value. And it's not even about the numbers. It's about how you show up. You give a chance for people to connect with you. So I get it, but also like you can't, I mean, and I can't say like you can't because you can feel however you want to feel, but like don't let that discourage you, because that becomes another way where you're interrupting your own success. If you focus so much on the numbers, you're standing in the way of your own long-term growth.
And on top of that, what I'll say is on like, don't just upload, share during a certain period of time, or like the first 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then bail out. I watch YouTubers. It's not even just in music. I don't care if it's music, video games, entertainment, movies, like comics, whatever. I watch YouTubers all the time only focus on like, hey, this is the current video out, because in a lot of cases they're uploading videos a lot, but like every 48 hours or something like that. But you have to also go back and promote the old stuff. Some of you have music videos in the vault, breakdowns in the vault that you haven't shared in years. And because you think like, oh, well, they don't want to hear the old stuff, or I shouldn't be sharing old stuff, like you're gaining followers on all these platforms every day who haven't seen everything. And so don't do the whole, oh, I put this music video out. Like, I swear to God, some of you will spend actual thousands on a music video, thousands on a feature to appear in said music video, promote it for 2 weeks, and then never again.
Listen, there's no such thing as old music when you're an early or mid-stage artist.
Right.
Because no one knows you. It might be old to you, but most people in the world have not heard it. And so if you're not excited about a song, like I think a lot of people think that someone's going to go back to the archives, find a song, it's going to go viral and they're going to explode. It doesn't happen that way. If you're not excited and enthusiastic and celebratory about a piece of work, whether that's a song or a book you wrote or a conference you're presenting at or a talk you're giving or fucking whatever it might be, if you're not driving that, no one's going to magically be more hyped about you than you are about yourself. You set the bar and then you teach people how to follow and what you want them to do. And so a lot of you, honestly, a lot of you are underutilizing your resources. A lot of you are under promoting, or you're promoting very directly. Here's the link. But you're not doing all the around pieces of getting people to emotionally engage and invest. And you're not telling the story, right? You're just throwing advertisements, but you're not doing the infomercial, which we've talked about throughout our episodes. And so you got, like, the best way I can say it is you have to put yourself out there. Now, I will say, like, I can imagine maybe you're watching this episode and you're like, fuck, I'm already trying to do my newsletter. I'm already trying to do Instagram. I'm already trying to do this, that. Now I got to do YouTube too. No, you don't ever have to be on a platform that you don't want to be. You don't ever have to be everywhere. And I actually don't think that's effective. Like, you're going to spread yourself thin. You're going to burn yourself out. But what we want to do is give you the information so that if you do choose that platform, you can do it in an effective way, in an efficient way. So maybe YouTube doesn't feel right for you, or it doesn't feel for you right now. Don't do it. That's okay. But if you do it, here's some things to think about. And remember, you can always repurpose content. Mm-hmm. You can always take what you posted on Instagram and share it on YouTube and post it in your newsletter. Like, these things should always be in communication with each other. So that, again, I use the word ecosystem because they don't exist as silos. These are all tools that are working together to your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, just it's really about I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, and that's what I try to tell any artist. It's like, you can even repurpose things like a newsletter into things like a YouTube video. Yeah. Monthly update. Here's what I'm up to. Like, and so that's really what it is. It's one, we understand that you want to be on these other platforms and stuff like that, but some of it is, sometimes you really do you just got to grab the infinity gauntlet and do it yourself. And that's, unfortunately, I feel like what being independent is. It sucks. Like, we trust me, we understand. Like, we've had to do a lot of this work ourselves as well. But that's the thing. We waiting for another platform to do the work for us, or even a label for that matter. There's so many. Oh no, my laptop's about to die. Oh no. Okay. Either way, don't wait for a label or any of these other platforms to do stuff for you. Nora, take over real quick. I'm going to try to grab my charger real quick.
One thing I will say that is super, 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 super important if you're an artist who wants to perform and wants to do shows and wants to get booked and wants to tour and all that stuff, that you should have on your YouTube is a performance video of you. And we've talked about this in different episodes. We talk about it every time that Den Music Fest comes up and we open submissions. You should have video of you as a performer. What that means, a performance video, means that it is. Are we good, Sto?
I think we're good.
Crisis averted.
Yes.
What that means is it is a video of you performing to your own music, not someone else's music. It's not behind the scenes vibey. I'm hearing you on the mic. I'm seeing you interact with the audience. I'm seeing you do a song. I'm seeing how the audience and the crowd is reacting. So you're giving a context. Because when booking agents or festivals or producers or whatever are looking to think about, do we want to book this person? They want a sense of who you are as a performer. A music video maybe gives an idea of that, but not really. A song, yeah, but not really. But if I can see you on how you command the stage, how you show up as a performer, what's your audience interaction like? All of those things are going to help you get booked. And so that's there's not a lot of things that I would say like you for sure have to have, but that is one of the things. And if you go back to our festival episode, which I don't remember what number that is, but if you go back to our festival episode, we talk about this a lot. Make sure you have a performance video of you. And again, it doesn't have to be the highest quality, but this is different. Like sometimes at Den Music Fest, when we're looking at submissions, someone will send me to like a 30-second clip of their Instagram that their friend took and the camera shaking and all you hear is like the homegirl who took the video like screaming. Great, lovely. We love that people are supporting you in that way. It doesn't quite give me the same information that I need as like a real performance video. So the same way like actors have reels, or back in the day, people used to do demos, or, you know, authors have a writing sample. You should have a performance video of some sort that lets me see who and what you're about. That's the one thing that for sure I think all musicians who want to perform and tour and like be on stages should have on their YouTube.
And I'll say, I didn't really like believe it at first, but like that immediately separates you from so many people, because so many people just refuse to even follow the basic instructions to submit something. And so it's just like something as simple, like, especially with Den Music Fest, they're not looking at all these metrics. They're not looking how many times have you gone viral in the last month and stuff like that. All they're looking for is just raw live performance footage. That's it. And there are so many artists that don't do that. And so it's like, if you just slow down and actually take the time to get that visual content together, there are so many opportunities that open up because of how many other artists are just like, here's actually an Instagram video that someone tagged me in that's, you know, literally sounds like we're underground or something like that. Like there's so many ways, simple ways to separate yourself from everyone else that's out here. And some of it is just get live footage up.
Yeah. And please, for the love of music, to your own music. I don't want to hear clips when you're submitting to perform. I don't want to hear malice when it's you that's trying to get on my stage. That should be a thing that I never have to say, but I have to say it all the time.
And that's what I'm trying to say here. It's like, there's so many just, if we could do probably a whole episode on wild ass festival submissions that you've gotten and other people have gotten over the years. It's as simple as follow the instructions and you probably have a decent chance. That's all it takes. Utilize the tools that we have for free for now, because I have a strange feeling here in 5, 10, 20 years, it ain't going to be the same.
Read the instructions, follow directions, answer the question. Yeah, we should do an episode. We should do an episode on that. But this episode about YouTube, where we've kind of been all over the place, but sometimes that's the vibe, and hopefully you got something valuable out of it. If you did, tell us in the comments. If you watched this far, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this episode with someone else, because this is how we build a new culture in the music industry that supports independent artists like all of us. Let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes. We have an episode coming up on SoundCloud. Is SoundCloud dead? We're also working on a live consult. So if you would like to be featured in that live consult, reach out to me and Sto and tell us what you want to talk about. If you want to look back, we've got a couple of good ones where we've done with different artists, including we did one with Pat X and we did one with Tanaja. Those are always really fun, and you get to kind of see a case study of what it's like. Fuck ICE, free Palestine, all the good things. Take care of yourselves, take care of your neighborhoods. That's it for me.
Drink water.
Drink water.
Hit the like button. Yeah, we'll be back here in a couple of weeks. Talk nice to yourself for once. I feel like I said that already, but I don't care. I'll say it again. We're out of here.
Bye.
My dog is about to take a shit. Oh my God. Please don't. I'm actually